say, listen, I am here to offer you my time and my expertise.
Yes.
And I would not like you to compromise on my expertise. Would you? Would you be willing to compromise on my expertise and not bring my A game every time I see you? So if you are not willing to compromise on my expertise and the time and the value addition that I'm going to bring to the table, why should you expect me to do the same? Now,
Yes.
Angela is a couple of years down the line in Capella Properties. How did you find this experience?
I think it's amazing. It was a roller coaster ride, but it was amazing.
You have to give me
Amazing.
examples for that. You have to give me
I
examples.
have gone through phases like when, for example, my first sale, I had zero clue. Like, how am I going to do this? I don't even know what documentation I would need, or how to go with the process, go to the land department, or what would I do. But it happened.
Do you recall that sale?
Yes, I remember. I didn't know you need an NOC. I thought you get the document from buyer, get the documents to seller. Okay, go to the land department and do the transfer. Then you need NOCs, clearance from the developer, XYZ. So learning all that, and it's like it was a roller coaster to find out how to get things done. But that's what I'm saying. I'm grateful because
How did you navigate that journey? Because if I'm correct, today I saw you sending a very, very comprehensive email with all the numbers and details to the buyer and to the seller, and you just concluded a sale yesterday.
Yes.
And you had to send all that that I would
The
consider a
breakdown.
very complicated email
Yes.
that you had to send to the seller and the buyer. And coming from there, reaching this place, how this journey came about.
So I would like to thank you for
So
all
you should
of
have done in the start of the that you should have done.
No, for actually not see. If you would tell me okay, the sale process is supposed to be done A, B, C, D, whatever has to be done, I would I would learn it. But going through that process, you would always tell me, call the land department, call this one, call that one, find out, go meet people, you will know. That's how I learned. Because if you would have told me, I would be like, okay, theek hai, ye bhi karna hai, okay, fine, no problem, I'll just get this document, ho jayega. But when you actually do it over the period, even if you go to the land
And that
department now,
instills confidence in you to go and interact with people.
exactly. And then now also, if we've gone through sale processes, even if you give them all the documentation, when the transfer is being done, you will find out, oh, there was this document also missing. So if you don't go through that process, you will never know.
I think
you will just think of basic documentation. Oh, you have to get this, and the sale will be done. No. Sometimes in some cases, this document is not required because the final payment is not done, the full payment is not done, or another sale process is another documentation because the buyer can't come. Or everything.
COVID changed a lot of
exactly.
things.
So every process you go through yourself, you will learn from every single process.
So there's a basic checklist that you follow, and after that basic checklist,
Yes.
there are eventualities.
Exactly.
And you never have control of the situations and circumstances that you're faced with.
That's what I'm saying. If you would have given me, okay, this is the basic checklist, you have to get this, I would be like, okay, like a robot. Okay,
But
I'll
I
get
gave
this,
you the basic
this.
checklist. Come on, you can't say
Yeah,
that.
you did. But I'm just saying that you also told me to find out from DLD if everything is okay.
Verified, know the source.
Exactly. So if I wouldn't have done that, I would be like, okay, sir, I have got all this. Now let's go for the sale process. We would have gone, and then it's not done. So if you don't go through that process, you will never know how to get everything done in time and systematically, seamlessly. Yes.
Angela, I'm an ardent believer of the fact that people invest in people.
Yes.
And people buy from people that they like. And once that confidence is established, then they would do more business.
Yes.
People also like to work with people like themselves.
I agree.
So there has to be like-mindedness. There has to be a connect there.
Yes.
There has to be. What connect do you have with the now team Capella that you think these are the ingredients that we must have? There's a term called organizational fit.
Yes.
So what would you tell people that this should be the organizational fit for people who are willing to work in real estate? And organizations like Capella, because Capella is a boutique real estate.
Yes.
It's not a massive company. It doesn't have hundreds of agents, and we are a boutique real estate company which focuses on certain areas, and we have a very small, well-knit team.
Yes. So what I would say is, firstly, as you also keep saying, is be consistent. And second is, keep trying your best, because you are going to, like, if you're consistently doing one thing, it's not like you'll have a sale every month, or sometimes it happens that it's not every month. You'll have to do leasing and other things as well. But be consistent. If you stop in the middle, you'll be like, oh, it's not happening.
So you don't give up.
Don't give
You
up.
keep on developing on yourself.
And then in the meanwhile, also, like, try to do other things, learn other things. If it's not, like, be open, like, to other opportunities, or I mean in real estate field I'm talking about, like, learn other things. Like, for example, you're in a process of sale and it's not happening, let it be. I mean, people will take time, like you're saying, like, you have to keep interaction with them, but they will take their time. If they
will mature.
They will mature.
It
but
takes
you
time
cannot
for
just
people
like
to rely
say,
on
oh,
people.
they're not buying from me, so I'll just leave it, I can't do this.
I completely agree, Angela. The only thing is that we are all in real estate industry.
Yes.
We've never done cold calling.
Yes.
So
we've
it
never
takes time for running marketing campaigns, and then people to reach to you,
Yes.
and people to interact with you and develop that trust in you.
Exactly.
You have to have something to offer them.
So I also I like to add a point that there are many people nowadays in the market who see me and be like, oh, she's so young, and she's in the market, so she, like, anyone can do real estate. But even learning about real estate, it took me, like you're saying, 5 years. So, and where I am here is,
So you're just trying to make a point that you are very young.
no,
That's the only
I'm just
that's the
trying
only
to say-
point that I got gathered
I'm
from
just
it.
trying to say that it doesn't happen like within a week or
I
2
understand.
weeks. It takes a lot of time to learn about, because when you're talking to a person who's looking to buy a property, if he's spending like 4-5 million, he's not going to just buy a property because you're telling him to buy the property. He is going to understand why should I buy that property, where is it located, what floor it is located on, what is the view, what is the cost per square feet, like you say. Everything he's going to check before buying or investing that money. How much ROI will I get? If a normal person who doesn't know all this, just out of the market, comes and says buy the property, he will ask this question.
Exactly.
You don't have an answer, he will not trust you, and he will never buy from you.
Now you're here for a couple of years.
Yes.
COVID hit.
Yes.
What was COVID for you?
I thought it was a disaster, but luckily we had some, you can say, ways and sources that we managed to get through COVID.
What did you feel? I mean, I think it was magnificent the way Dubai and UAE handled
Yes.
COVID.
Yes.
The systems, the processes, the procedures that
was very
were
good, yes.
developed, perfected, implemented, and verified here,
Yes.
that instilled a lot of
Was seamless,
confidence
yes.
globally in Dubai
Yes.
real estate and UAE in general.
Exactly. Yes.
But what were your initial reactions?
I thought I was like, I'm going to lose my job, because I don't know how, like, obviously the company has funds, but I didn't know how long this would go on, and then the company would have to also, like, sustain then other things, like
The expenses.
expenses, basically.
So the company had to incur expenses,
and when
bear
there was no
expenses, and then-
revenue going to come in the company, I knew, because we couldn't go out, we couldn't meet people couldn't see properties or anything as such. I was like, I think some of us are going to lose our jobs or something like that. But
Did that bring you closer to your team members during that time?
yes, it did. It actually did, because even after all that, we made sure to have a meeting every day. Like you remember, we had a video call every day.
Yeah, I was there in this
Yeah.
meetings.
Yeah. So like we both were living in the same building, so I would come down and bother you, sir. What can we do? You used to tell us.
Nothing against COVID policies.
So we still tried
We
to.
managed to.
Yes, we
I
managed
think
things.
teamwork
And
at
yes.
that time prevailed,
Yeah.
and we all took certain decisions
Yes,
to
we
curtail
did.
our expenses and
Exactly.
to go through that time.
Yeah.
But I think we drew a lot of strength from each other.
Exactly. And like how things were managed, especially by you, it was like everyone was very happy, because obviously they needed like basic minimums that time, and we were ready. Everyone was
And
ready.
everybody was willing to take that
Yes,
hit,
so-
and we prevailed during that time.
Exactly. Yes.
So coming out of COVID,
Hmm.
we'll talk sustainability now.
Okay.
You entered into another venture,
Hmm.
which was property supervision services,
Yes.
property management to say.
Yes.
How's that experience going?
It's actually good, but crazy sometimes because of the owners and the tenants.
And the maintenance staff and everything.
Yes.
So I remember your first statement when you said, I was in the college, I used to manage children fighting with each other, parents fighting with teachers, teachers fighting with this. So
Yeah.
that all
So,
you had to manage
yeah, so
and keep a
now-
cool head about it.
Yeah, so now I have to keep a cool head with the owners and the tenants and the maintenance team, because managing them all and their contracts and everything, it's not very easy sometimes because of the owners.
Hey, we have some very nice owners. Don't
Yeah,
blame the owners.
Not all of them, but some are like
There's situations that we come
exactly.
across.
I mean, some of them just get frustrated and they just want to but that's okay. I mean, it's everyone's nature. I mean, if you're frustrated, they would want someone to talk to or tell that, and be managing the property. They have no one else to tell about the property. So yeah, I mean, like tenants, they sometimes, we have gone through a lot of scenarios where they don't want to listen to the owners, or don't want to
I mean,
follow
you have to
protocols.
mediate a lot.
Exactly.
You have to mediate a lot.
Yeah.
I think everybody is reasonable
Yes.
until unless they are pushed to a point or they are unable to express themselves to the other person. And we as professional real estate people, it is our core job
Yeah.
to actually guide them.
Exactly. Yes.
Our task as far as the sales is concerned or leasing is concerned or property management is concerned is to gather information, look at people, look at their requirements.
Exactly. Yes.
I see a lot of real estate individuals that come across and they start just pushing out whatever inventory they have, whatever they need to sell.
Exactly. Yes.
Wherever it's all about
what the client
what
wants.
the client actually wants and needs. People have very specific requirements. People have actually, like kids going to schools, which school is going to be near, how are they going to manage the transportation,
Yeah.
if somebody has their parents with them, what hospitals do they normally go, and if they go once or twice a week for some physiotherapy or anything.
Yeah, they would need all those requirements.
They would all they have genuine needs and requirements, and those requirements need to be understood by the individuals.
Exactly. So people, like as you're saying, agents, there are a lot of agents that just because they've been given like
A task to sell.
target to sell, and because they have to do it, they just want to like push it down the client's throat, and then if it's not their requirement, they still want to be like, no, you should buy it because of this, because of that. And some clients, they have the money, so they just buy it because and then they're stuck with that property. Sometimes there's like rare cases, but it does happen. Like,
It does happen
yeah.
where they have been misguided by
Exactly.
real estate.
Yes.
So On the other side, on the flip side, you as a real estate consultant now, what are the biggest challenges that you have faced, and how have you been able to address them and have to counter them and to cater for them?
So again, like my main thing is that just understand what is the client's requirement first of all. Like you always say, make sure you know what exactly they want, which area, what is close to their, what is their budget that they're looking at, how much they want to invest, how many people are going to live. If there's someone elderly, they would like something on the lower floor, like a villa.
At
So
times,
make sure, yeah, we have to make sure like we are providing them that, because if you don't, they will not come to you again.
Angela, now that you do property management,
Yeah.
why do you think there's a need for all landlords to have competent, qualified property managers or real estate managers who manage their property and who would run the affairs for them?
So I think it's very important because most of the landlords, they just buy, like, I mean, obviously they research about the property, but sometimes they don't know the rules and regulations of as per RERA or Dubai land. So when they, for example, like recently, we got an owner saying, "Oh, please kick this tenant out of my apartment," but they don't know that.
And the owner was adamant about it.
Exactly. So they don't know that, you have to give the tenants a 1-year notice. So it's very important for owners to know these rules and
I think
regulations.
all the owners would not be that savvy about the regulations, the rules, the upcoming new modifications
Exactly.
to those rules and
Yes,
regulations.
yes.
So, in haste, they might up making a move
Exactly.
that is very counterproductive, and that's going to put them in bad light.
Yes. Also, like some owners, because they're so busy, they're either businessmen or they don't want the hassle, like to deal with their tenants, deposit the checks, get the contracts renewed, because you have to send the tenant notice before
I think
the
having
renewal.
a qualified person who manages the property,
They know the rules and regulations.
the
and
maintenance aspect of it.
Exactly.
Is-
Like I have got calls, as you said, like in the previous video. I would calls like at 12 in the night, 1 o'clock in the night. Oh, this is broken in my apartment. Please send the team. It's emergency. Now the owners don't want that. They're like, just give it to somebody, or they should have someone who can manage it so
I
that
think
they
it's
don't have
not
to
that
go
they-
through that.
you see, even if they have references to people,
Exactly.
it's not going to be a consistent
Exactly.
follow
Like
up.
some people, they're like, okay, like the maintenance team also, some they go, or sometimes if, like for example, we are connected to some people, they're ready to go in the night, but if the owner just randomly picks up the phone, sometimes these people don't want to go at the middle of the night.
Because you see, and then a qualified company
Yes.
would have TATs defined, which is
Exactly,
turnaround times.
exactly, yes.
That this fault and this much time will be required. This is the level of qualification of people that's going to
Yes,
come in,
yes.
do the job in this much time, how to coordinate that.
Yeah.
And we have had significant amount of experience now in this field.
Yeah.
So a normal reoccurring problem, we know what could be the probable cause, how much time it will take,
Yeah.
and how much funds it will consume.
Exactly.
So we can guide the. I remember every year, we as Capella Properties, we send out reports
Correct.
to our landlords
Correct.
that for this property we have incurred so much expense, and we have
saved.
made so many amounts of. This is the amount of saving we have done.
Exactly.
These are the areas in which we have saved the cost, and this is the amount where we could have gone ahead and have incurred that expense, and we have saved that cost. So I think that brings a lot of value.
Do you remember any sort of funny incident or with the landlords or the owners that you had that you wouldn't want happening again?
Now you deal with the landlords, and as far as the property management
Yes.
concerned, so I'm pretty much hands off. But I had people reaching out to me, even for my own properties.
Yeah.
Somebody, and I was traveling to US,
Yes.
and somebody reached out to me, And the gentleman said that, listen, the geyser has started leaking.
Yeah.
And I told him I'm in US.
Yes.
Oh, it's a different time zone.
Yes.
He said, but you need to come here. I said, okay, did you actually want me to book a flight, come here,
Get your tools.
you get my tool. I like
Yeah.
to.
Yes.
I'm an engineer at the end of the day. So you actually want me to come there, or you want me to make arrangements
Yes.
to handle this in the most professional manner, in the most proficient manner,
Yeah.
and get that thing rectified in the shortest period of time with the minimal amount of inconvenience and damage to both people
Yeah.
and property.
Exactly.
So that should be the goal and that should be the endeavor. And every day we need to build on that. We need to work on that and have those things streamlined and processes and procedures. I'm a stickler for
Exactly.
processes, procedures,
Yes.
procedures, system. Develop a system which runs on autonomous mode
Yes, I agree.
so that we have less fights amongst them. At times, what happens is that the landlords actually don't see the value addition that we bring to the table, because of lot of. I wouldn't give 100% the ownership of this issue to the landlords, because nobody has actually gone ahead in most of the cases to the landlord and
know
briefed
what's
them.
no, also they don't know what's gonna happen if for example, do you remember that owner who came, who called us all the way to the site when he had to take the handover, and then another agent got the
So
viewing them? Yeah.
So both of us were in a meeting,
Yes.
which was very important.
Yes.
This gentleman calls us.
I've
He
come all
says,
the way
I've
from-
come all the way from
I
another
think it was
country,
Qatar, yeah.
and I would like to go ahead and meet you guys and the handover process. So we did the handover. We spent around 3 hours
Yes.
for the handover. That property checked everything, including the airflow, everything, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, the tiles, the woodwork, everything was checked thoroughly. We had a detailed report compiled, submitted to the developer for rectification, and then we went back for the rectification actions. And he said, I'm pretty happy to give you the now everything. And then when we entered the property, he said, oh, in the meantime, I found somebody. So I thought I'll just hand over the property to
Yes.
them because they are known to me from XYZ source. And we said, okay, perfectly fine. Without actually going into the detail of the value addition that individual is going to bring.
Exactly.
Because now again, probably they had comfort zone or they were highly recommended by somebody else. But what ended up within 10 days, the owner came back to us, okay, now this is a problem, and the person that I deputed is not picking up my calls at this time.
Yeah, so I feel owners don't want to sign a contract because they feel like, oh, we'll manage everything. We don't
On our own,
need-
because we have been
and they
managing
want
our
to,
own
like,
homes.
Yeah, they don't want to pay the fee that they have to pay, and they'll be like, we can deposit our checks, we can do everything. But if those owners are not in the country or they don't have reliable sources to provide maintenance or whatever is required, it's going to be very difficult, because if you don't, like for example, a tenant calls you and they are not able to reach out to you if you're not available, if you're in another country, what are they going to do?
That brings me to a very important point. Let's go back to sales.
Yeah.
The sales is something which is very close to my heart.
Yes.
And now you're following the same footsteps.
Yes.
When you go and meet people,
Yes.
and for example, if I am a buyer and I come very hard on you and say, okay, what are you here to sell? And then you go immediately into the numbers and this project and that project and that project. How do you handle that? How do you handle that challenge?
So
Because the market is saturated.
exactly.
There are more than 2,000 real estate companies operating in Dubai. A standard process is that they would take a new project from the developer and they would make a campaign on Instagram, they would make a campaign on Facebook, and they would put the same thing It's a copy paste formula. This is the age group. This is the demographic. Just send it out the campaign.
So how we would differentiate, or I, is that I would tell him that I'm not only going to sell you the property, but I will even manage it for you. Firstly, I add value to that property. Why? Because once you buy it, I will manage your leasing, I will manage your entire contract. When it comes to finding the tenant, when it comes to the tenancy contract, depositing your check, any legal issues also, we can manage it on your behalf with the POA or whatever if you're not here. So we also add value in that way. And also if we give them proper numbers and,
But numbers, Angela, everybody is not a numbers fan.
yeah.
So what I tell people is that, look, I'm not selling you anything except my time and my expertise.
Exactly, yes.
We have another very sore subject here, which is the agents who are willing to compromise on their own amount that they get from either the buyer, the commission amount, or from the developer, and they are willing to settle that amount with the buyer.
Yeah, but the difference between them and us is that you won't find them after a couple of years. You will find us.
I think you would not be able to find them after a couple of weeks.
Exactly,
and weeks,
even weeks, yeah.
Weeks is a long shot.
Yes.
We've had instances.
Yes.
And I say, listen, I am here to offer you my time and my expertise.
Yes.
And I would not like you to compromise on my expertise. Would you? Would you be willing to compromise on my expertise and not bring my A game every time I see you? So if you are not willing to compromise on my expertise and the time and the value addition that I'm going to bring to the table, why should you expect me to do the same?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even if we are charging or we are asking you for something, it's because we're going to give you a value addition service.
The amount we are charging
Yes.
is based on the expertise,
Exactly.
the qualification, the competence that we bring to the table.
Exactly. That's
And that competence is developed over a period of time, consistently being diligent in the same profession.
correct.
Knowing the ins and outs of that, not just selling one project, but knowing the demographics, knowing where Dubai real estate is progressing, knowing how to navigate, how to channelize that stream of the funds that the investor has.
Yeah, that's
So knowing all those deliverables and making good on all those deliverables is worth that amount that you're going to dish out.
yes.
So I think that is very, very important, and that needs to be adhered to within the community as well, because if a fresher comes and that fresher under peer pressure or under the pressure of the company organization or somebody, or maybe the senior managers that are telling him to, okay, you have to close this deal, you have to close this by hook or by crook. You will never have that client as a recurring or as a referral client. You know,
Yes, that's true.
there is a reason why we have the logo of the company as building relationships for a lifetime.
Yes.
Building relationships for a lifetime takes efforts, be it in your personal life or be it in your professional life.
Yes.
It takes efforts day in, day out. It's not a one-time job. It's not I sell you something and then bye-bye, I don't see you for the rest. It's being present and how to keep on adding value to whatever the sphere of life you're going to influence.
I completely agree. That's true.
And that has been the diligent practice.
Yes.
So what are the key takeaways that you can take from Capella after 6 years? You have had fights. We have had a lot of challenging times, externally, internally, global events. What would be the takeaway final?
Like I said before, just be consistent in whatever you do, and that's what you've always taught me. That be patient. Everything will come in time, but always be consistent in whatever you do, so that if you stay consistent, then only you'll achieve results. If you just give up, nothing's gonna happen of it. So stay consistent.
You're in, like me, you believe in the tipping point theory.
Yes.
That you have to keep on pursuing that goal.
Yes.
You have to keep on pursuing it
Yes.
till you reach that limit
Exactly.
where a small amount of force is going to bring about that massive change.
Yes.
But it's not that only that amount of force that was applied on the last day. It is the consistent effort that
Exactly.
led you to that area and led you to that point. That's my
true.
belief on it.
Yes, that's what I believe.
Thank you, Angela. It was very enlightening to hear your life journey till so far.
Thank you.
It's, as you said, it was a roller coaster ride.
Yes.
And the ride's not over.
Yes.
It's just
not.
getting more and more interesting.
Yes.
The twists and turns are getting wilder and wilder, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So all of you stay tuned. See you in the next episode.